Have you ever heard of a place so successful that its own success almost destroyed it? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at a case study of a Berlin club where the problem wasn't the music or the venue, it was a complete communication breakdown that threatened to bring the whole thing crashing down.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This sentence really nails the core issue, doesn't it? It's that wild paradox where growth, the very thing you're striving for, ends up becoming your biggest enemy. Let's see how that played out.
All right, so picture this, a super popular club in Berlin. It's so successful that its program is absolutely packed from Friday all the way through Monday. The problem? The booking process that got them there just couldn't handle the pressure anymore. The system that built their success was now about to cause their collapse.
And get this, the entire weight of this massive operation, it was all resting on a tiny team of just 3 bookers. 3. Can you even imagine that? Just 3 people curating the entire weekend lineup for one of the hottest spots in the city. The pressure must have been absolutely insane.
So you know what happens when you get that popular, right? The floodgates open. Success brought a tidal wave of artist inquiries. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of emails every single week. It was way, way too much for a small team to handle, and they were literally drowning.
And this is where things get really serious. This wasn't just about a messy inbox. No, this was causing real human damage. Artists felt completely ignored, ghosted. The booking team itself was hitting a wall. Total mental overload and burnout. And maybe worst of all, the club's stellar reputation was starting to take a serious hit.
Okay, so to really get what was going on, we have to look at it from a few different angles. Because this wasn't just one problem, it was really 3 different problems happening all at once, seen through the eyes of 3 key groups.
So on one side, you had the bookers just completely buried and paralyzed. Then you had the artists who felt disrespected and, started talking trash about the club. And finally, you had the founders who were kind of oblivious to it all until the negative chatter got way too loud to ignore. It's like they were all in different worlds experiencing the same disaster.
So, what was the real culprit here? What was the one thing causing all this chaos? Well, a team was brought in to figure that out. And what they uncovered was, well, it's probably not what you're thinking. It was something totally counterintuitive.
Their approach was pretty straightforward, really. First, they became detectives, mapping out the entire journey of an email from the moment it arrived to where it went to die. Then they just sat down and talked to the bookers to find out where the real pain was.
And this is the twist in the story. The big problem, the bottleneck grinding everything to a halt, it wasn't incompetence. It wasn't that they didn't care. It was politeness. Yeah, you heard me right. The bookers felt so bad about saying no that they ended up saying nothing at all. They thought silence was kinder.
So once they knew the real problem, the solution wasn't some huge expensive fix. They didn't need to hire more people or buy some fancy new software. They just needed a simple, lightweight way to give the team their voice back, to empower them to actually communicate.
And the fix was so beautifully simple, it's almost genius. It was just 2 things. First, a basic database to keep track of every artist. And second, and honestly, this is the part that changed everything, a set of pre-written email templates designed to be clear, direct, and, most importantly, respectful.
Think about what a difference that makes. All that stress, that guilt about saying no, it just vanished. With a click of a button, they could send a reply that was honest, polite, and gave the artist closure. No more ghosting.
And they even had templates for those really awkward post-show conversations. You know the ones, for an artist who played but maybe wasn't quite there yet. This is brilliant because it turns what could be a negative experience into something constructive. It keeps the relationship alive.
And bam! The results were pretty much instant. Suddenly, silence was replaced with clarity. The bookers felt relief, and the artists, even the ones getting a no, felt seen. They felt respected. The whole dynamic just completely shifted for the better.
So let's really spell it out. Let's look at the before and after, because it really shows you the true incredible price of just saying nothing. Okay, so before this new system, the team was dealing with more than 60 follow-up emails every single week. Just think about that. That's not creative work. That's just managing anxiety, both the artists and their own. What a waste of energy. And now look at the after. Those 60-plus emails, gone. Team burnout, replaced with relief and lower stress. The reputation that was on the brink of disaster, totally safe. See, this was so much more than just email management. This was about fixing something fundamentally broken in their culture. So, look,
The big takeaway here really has nothing to do with Berlin nightclubs. It's about us. It's about looking at our own teams, our own projects, and asking a pretty tough question. Where are we being politely silent when we should be clearly communicating? And more importantly, what is that silence actually costing you?